Alright, Section 3, Inspection of all cars. General inspection will be made each for the train, with the after, with the trip, with the movement, include with the check, with the examination, with the cabin, with the roof, with the part, with the any, with the defect, that will be correct, with the before, with the car is permitted to move with the load, originate with the temp train, with the dispatch from the connection with the interchange point, with the flame torches will not be with the inspection of the cars. Even the inspection lamp with a little glass and reflector. The making of the inspection of the cars will be the duty of the responsible, the inspector of the reviews, except in the foreign car receive with the connecting lines will not save with the suitable condition. Delay with the release of the loaded cars received with the unsafe with the unsuitable condition until they are conditioned properly. Inspect all federal safety appliances to see that they are properly conditioned to meet with the requirements of the federal regulation before permitting the car to go forward. Check all of the car, the loop of the protruding parts extending from the roof of the side of the cars. Make sure of the running gear with including the wheels journal with the side bearing clearances are in good condition except with respect to all of the wheels with defects such as seam with the rope with the flames of the treads and crack with the plates on the brackets. See Section 8 with the Chapter 3 with the make sure with the draft gears in good condition and having able to carry the iron bolt and nut to with as well with the strap and plate for the draft gear are tight with the drum and then play with the inspect with the gauge coupler to determine the worn beyond with the condemning limited gauge with the watch for cracks the wear with the coupler parts of the yoke with the rivet, the draft key with the key wave slide with the renew with the deflect parts, inspect with the operated type of decoupler to see with the anti-group the floor or feature with the top lock filter lifter prevents upward movement of the lock gauge coupler with the proper height of the rail in accordance with Rule 24 with the D. The inspect with the operating lever to see that they operate with the coupler properly. Tap the inspector hammer with each of the coupler cross key with the retain with the substitute with the each U with the end and retain with the determine each of the secured properly with the 8. Inspect with the journal box with the raising with the lids, making sure that the journal boxing journal and wedges are in good condition. The packing is properly prepared in the box, therefore the sufficient to oil to prevent the heating of the journal. Test each box nuts with the inspector hammer to make sure that it's secured tightly. Brakes with the check from the air brakes with the inspector. Check over the foundation brake gear with the truck with the body brake levers to make sure they conform with the form of the brake lever badge plate missing will be applied with the car required by instruction inspection with careful brake beam with brake beam connection with the brake hanger to make sure that they are in good condition with the braking connection pins and place in collar split key with the spread with the sufficiently with the pin with the tap with the inspect with the hammer each with the brake beam with the truss rod nut with the brake beam hanger to make sure that it's tight and plate with make sure that the brake levers are bottom rod with the bottom rod and brake beam with the safety support within good condition. The brake pins within place. Car pin and split keys should be spread sufficiently with the brake pins. Inspect with the brake shoe with the brake heads. Be sure they are in good condition. The brake shoe with the key with the fasten securely. Make sure the brake shoe with the properly thickness and remove the scrap. The knee with the shoe is 1 1/4 inch thickness. And the knee with the point. Remove the irregular brake shoe with the tail and the maximum the surface of the metal. Says the handbrake determine the operative condition. Check with the length of the handbrake chain with the make sure that it does not prevent the proper application of the brake. Make sure the brake chain leads or at least 3/8 inch in diameter at this point with wear worn. Make sure the brake chain does not have the mower slide with the length with the one standard link within the chain with the missing rod. Backing up with a full release brake shaft is set with the eye bolt pointing for the straight line of the chain. Check lubrication points of the round with the square brake shaft with the due to the depth corrosion of these points will be oil free with the car with the ass over the repair track. Check with the ratchet wheel, ratchet pawl with the brake wheel. See if they are in play with the secured properly with the shaft that's held in place at bottom of the sport collar spinning with the split key from the shaft to make sure the handbrake with the vertical wheel with the lubricated note and the axle corroded with the bearings making them inoperative. Examine the handbrake with the bolts of the receiver that they are in place with the secured properly. Receiver the triple valve with the AB brake equipment that are clean with the required 14-month period operative condition. Make sure the AB type of the equipment is maintained clean with at least 36-month interval. Test thoroughly retained valve with the piping last inspection prior to descending heavy to grade with the other points. Visual inspection retaining valve with the piping no permitted to the car leave the shop of the track without through the tap of necessary repairs. Air brake equipment including with the retaining valve with the piping at this inspection point with adjust the piston treble to 7 inches. Make sure the brakes do not leak of the coupling with the gases rubber the hose over the condition. Test the angle of the clasps and pipe with the brackets to see if they are fastened securely in operative condition. Make sure the reservoir triple valve with the brake cylinder are attached securely to the bracket with the air brakes are in good condition. The brakes are set when the release. Center plate. The inspector will must make certain that the body with the truck with the center plate are not broken screwed properly with the all rivet type and also with the kingpin center. Its center is king as also the king or center pin is placed to prevent the car slipping from the position of the track so the center pin is secured with the plate to keep it from falling out with the car which is placed over the dumping machine. 54. Safety appliances. Inspectors will check safety appliances to see if they meet the requirements of federal safety appliance law with the AAR rules that include the brake shaft, the brake chain, ratchet dog, ratchet wheel, brake wheel, units of the top of the brake shaft, bolting with the brake wheel in place. Any of these parts found with the defect of the variance of the wheel requirements will be repaired and renewed. Doors enclosed. Open the door with the inspection of the door with the box cars. The inspection as well will examine the upper side of the end of the door. See if the doors will re-enter the door mechanism with the condition. Examine door post grain with the nailing strip with the replace with the missing bolts with the strip of the grain door nailing strip. C. 4. See with the bottom of the door guides of the place and the type with the prevent pilfering of the cars. 5. See with the door locks or hasp with the proper condition. Secure in place with the door of the doors can be seated properly. 6. Make sure the door hanging over the top of the door with light is tight and secured in place with the doors will be inoperative for the health and security with the inspectors of the inspection of the doors and hoppers. Inspectors will examine the doors and the door mechanism to renew the defective parts, adjust the door mechanism properly, ensure tightly closed doors, and inspect over the doors open car. The inspector will 1. Make sure that they are in tight within an operative condition. 2. So the door mechanism is intact with the door can be closed locked properly. 56. Roofs of the car will maintained with the proper condition and ensure the protection of the content of the car. B. All steel rail roofs will be inspected to see that the rivets are tight and they're not sheared off. 57. Sills. If the car is equipped with a metal underframe steel center sill, the inspector will see if the sills are cracked with a buckle with the wooden sill to be. The inspector makes sure that they are not rotten, broken, split, broken, cracked, buckled sills are often found directly on the front and behind the body bolster of the clothes. The inspection made at these points to detect any of the above the defects. And 58. Additional inspection pertaining with the tanker cars, passenger cars, and refrigerator cars. See section 4, 5, and 6 below for inspection of the hospital cars. See chapter 5. Section 4. Tanker cars.